Outperforming TV. I'm your host, Jemmy. Markets are moving really fast right now, and the signals are coming from everywhere. Geopolitics is driving oil, AI is facing regulation battles, and crypto is quietly going through a structural shift. So today we're going to connect all the dots for you. Let's start with the global picture first. Because right now, everything still comes back to one key story, the situation between the US and Iran. And today, we are seeing a small but important signal. Oil prices dropped after Donald Trump said Iran allowed multiple oil tankers to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. He even called it as a precedent. So markets reacted quickly. Oil moved lower, and traders starting pricing in the possibility that tensions might be easing. But here's the problem: this is still a very fragile situation because behind the headline, the bigger picture has not changed. Supply has already been disrupted. Global reserves are under pressure, and the entire system is running very tight right now. So, yes, we are seeing some short term relief, but the risk is still there. And all it takes is just one escalation to push oil and inflation right back up again. Now, at the same time, while geopolitics is driving market, we are seeing something big happening in the AI space because Anthropic, one of the leading AI companies, just won a legal battle against the US government. And this is not just a normal case. This is about who controls AI. The government tried to restrict the technology, labeling them as a potential security risk, but the court stepped in and blocked that move. And what this tells us is very clear. Like, we are entering a phase where AI is becoming critical infrastructure and governments want more control. At the same time, companies are pushing back. This is going to be a long-term fight, and it will shape the entire AI industry going forward. Now, let's bring it to crypto because we are seeing major developments here as well. Because first of all, we are talking about Bitcoin adoption because this is big. Fannie Mae, which is one of the core pillars of the U.S. housing system, is now exploring the idea for allowing Bitcoin in mortgage applications. So let that sink in. You may soon be able to hold your Bitcoin, not sell it, and still use it to qualify for a home loan. This is how adoption actually happens, not through high, but through integration into real financial systems. And this could be a major step in turning Bitcoin into a true financial asset. At the same time, institution money continues to move in. Morgan Stanley is now preparing to launch its own spot Bitcoin ETF. And that is a big shift because this is not just an asset manager. This is one of the biggest banks in the world with access to over $5 trillion in client assets. That means Bitcoin is now being recommended by financial advisors, integrated into portfolios, and brought directly into traditional finance. So instead of people going out to find Bitcoin, Bitcoin is now coming to them. Now, on the AI and also crypto side of things, we are also going to cover one of the most interesting stories right now, which is Bittensor, because this project is trying to completely rethink how AI is built and is starting to get some very serious attention. Even Nvidia CEO Jensen Huang has mentioned it, which tells you this is no longer just a niche crypto idea. This is about decentralizing AI, open access, and also challenging the current system dominated by big tech. But at the same time, there are real questions around, like sustainability, token incentives, or whether this model can actually scale. So we'll break down everything for you in detail. And finally, we'll tie everything back to Bitcoin and the macro picture because something very unusual is happening. During the geopolitical tension, Bitcoin is actually outperforming gold. Now, historically speaking, during war, money will actually flow into gold, but this time it's flowing into Bitcoin. Institutions are rotating into Bitcoin. Gold ETFs are seeing outflows, and Bitcoin is starting to act like a real-time macro asset. And that is a structural shift, and we're going to break down exactly what that means for you. And later in the show, as always, we have a special guest joining us. Today, we are bringing Nathan from Chinsanity, the host of the Chinsanity Show. If you've been in crypto for a while, you might have seen his work. He's known for high quality interviews, a strong guest lineup, and consistently delivering content that actually adds value. But what's interesting is not just the content you see, it's everything behind the scenes. How he builds relationships, how he secures top guests, and how he runs the entire production. So, in this segment, we're going to go deeper into content creation, podcast building, and what really takes to grow in this space in this day and age. So, if you're a creator or thinking of building something on your own, this is a conversation you definitely don't want to miss. All right, so anyways, there's so much to cover in today's segment, so let's get started with our first story of the day. We are hopping into the oil price. So this is actually a key signal for global markets right now. Oil prices just moved after Donald Trump said Iran allowed 10 oil tankers to pass through the Strait of Hormuz. He even called it a precedent. So markets took this as a sign of possible de-escalation. So what happened is just like according to Donald Trump, Iran allowed these tankers through as a goodwill gesture. At first, it was supposed to be 8 ships, and then it increased to 10 ships. That suggests one thing. So some level of communication is happening, even if both sides publicly deny talks. And right away, of course, markets reacted immediately. And on the bright side, so oil price dropped after the news. Brent crude oil fell to around like $105. WTI dropped below $93 because if oil is moving again, that means supply pressure could ease, and that reduces fear in the market. Now, here's the important part. Just because a few tankers moved, it doesn't mean the situation is fixed. Analysts are warning the oil market is still very fragile right now. Over the past few weeks, millions of barrels of oil have been disrupted. Global inventories have been used up, and the market has been running on buffers. But now those buffers are running out. One report estimates around 17 million barrels per day has been affected, and close to 500 million barrels have already been lost. So even a small disruption now can have a much bigger impact. So let's step back for a second. Yes, it looks like a positive sign, but this is a very small one because the bigger picture is still the same. The Strait of Hormuz is still very unstable. The war is still ongoing, and supply risk is still high. So markets are reacting to short-term relief, not long-term uncertainty, not long-term certainty. So the bottom line is this news is great, like oil going down today, but it's not the full picture. This is a very fragile system reacting to headlines. And right now, all it takes is just one escalation to push prices back up again. So the key question is, was this a real sign of easing tensions or just a temporary move? Because that will decide where oil and also global markets will go next. And that's exactly what we're watching here on Roxham TV. So let's shift gear a little bit, and I do want to spend some time to look at AI, because there is a big moment in the AI industry. An AI company just won a legal fight against the US government. And this is not a small case. This is about power, it's about control and who decides how AI gets used. So, what just happened? Let me give you guys a little bit of context. So, a US federal judge has ruled in favor of Anthropic. The court blocked the Donald Trump administration from banning the company's AI tools. What that means is that the government cannot enforce its order and cannot treat Anthropic as a national security threat for now. This is called a preliminary injunction. So the case is not over yet, but this is a major early win. So now you might ask, why the government targeted Anthropic specifically? So here's the backstory. The US Department of Defense had labeled Anthropic as a security risk. This is very serious allegation because this label is usually used for foreign advisories, so not for US companies. And once you get that label, government agency would stop using your technology. Contractors are forced to avoid you, and your business can be heavily damaged. So, what causes conflict? What went wrong? It comes down to control. The government wanted full access to Anthropic's AI models, but Anthropic pushed back, unlike OpenAI. Anthropic want limits. They want limited control, especially around autonomous weapons and also mass surveillance on American people. And the two sides could not agree. Now, here's the key part. The judge said this move by the government may be illegal. Specifically speaking, it could be retaliation against free speech. In simple terms, the government may have punished the company for disagreeing with its position, and that is a big accusation. And this case is not just about one company, it's about the future of AI because it raises a big question. Who controls AI development? Is it governments? Is it private companies or both? And where are the limits? We are right now entering a phase where AI is becoming critical infrastructure. And when that happens, governments would want more control. Companies would want to protect the technology. So conflicts like this will likely happen more often. The bottom line is, Anthropic winning this round is a big signal. It shows that tech companies can push back and courts are willing to step in. But the fight is not over. This case could take months to fully resolve. So the key question is, will governments gain more control over AI or will companies keep their independence? Because that decision will shape the future of the entire AI industry. And that's why we're paying very close attention here on Roxham TV. So we will take a short break from here. When we come back, we're diving into the world of Bitcoin and also in crypto. We'll talk more about AI crypto specifically. I do want to spend some time to dive into Anthropic because the recent attention that it gained from this project, and even Nvidia CEO is talking about Bittensor. So don't go away. There will be a lot more interesting news for you.
Some call me Chicken Little, others Bubble Boy. I'm a bit changed, but sounds familiar, right? Let me tell you a hard truth. The S&P isn't rising. The dollar's falling. That's the trick. Monopoly money. It's ice melting by the second. Your savings, your salary, your time. Worth less every second. Everyone's using the wrong measuring stick. Switch the denominator. Price the S&P into Bitcoin. Hard, fixed, unprintable. Suddenly your unstoppable index, it's collapsing. And while you cling to dollars, well, Wall Street already switched. Before, you needed two brokers.
Still getting my ninja bonus though, right?
Fuck. Plenty of spreadsheets. And my quant!
I hate this part.
I was right, and I'll be right again. If I were you, I'd thank me.
You know my name's Dave, right?
Security matters. Zappo Bank. the only way to bank your Bitcoin. Apply now at zappobank.com.
So, tell us about your furry friend here. What's his name?
Oh, this? This is Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
He's not just a cat, he's family.
Quite a name, and I must say, looks quite pampered.
Oh, absolutely. Bitcoin deserves nothing but the best. He's my little prince.
But with such a valuable pet, aren't you afraid of losing him?
Losing Bitcoin? No, it never happened before, so it's not something I worry about. Excuse me for a moment. Bitcoin, stay here, right?
Bitcoin, no! Bitcoin, come on, little buddy, Bitcoin, I need you. Don't go.
This is Alex. Alex spends most of his time thinking like a trader, still deciding what to do with his Bitcoin. While Alex waits for the perfect entry, this is Laura. She's watching the S&P drop. Everyone is suddenly a macro expert. She doesn't panic. This is Tom. No screens, no noise, no stress. While Tom focuses on his swing, his Bitcoin focuses on compounding. Because Bitcoiners don't want more dollars. They want more Bitcoin.
I want more Bitcoin.
The best move is letting your Bitcoin work while you plan the next one. Grow by Roxum. One currency, one place.
How about stretch preferred stock on Roxum? Receive 11.5% monthly cash dividends paid in Bitcoin.
11.5% paid in Bitcoin? How is that possible?
It's real. Stretch dividends on Roxum gives 11.5% monthly cash dividends paid in Bitcoin.
Dang! I want everyone pitching Roxum to your clients. Corporate traders, asset managers, old, young, Stretch on Roxum is for everyone.
Now that's a birthday gift. 11.5% in Bitcoin.
We are in heaven at 11.5. 11.5%. 11.5%.
Welcome back to Roxham TV, and thanks for sticking around with us after the break. Right now, let's talk about a major step for Bitcoin adoption. For the first time, one of the biggest players in the US housing system is moving toward accepting Bitcoin. We are talking about Fannie Mae. So what just happened is they are exploring a new change. So borrowers may soon be able to use Bitcoin as part of their mortgage application. So that means you don't have to sell your Bitcoin. You get to keep it and still qualify for a home loan. And that is a huge shift we are witnessing. How this works is basically right now, like if you want a mortgage, you usually have to sell your crypto into cash and use that as proof of funds, but that creates two problems. So first of all, you need to pay tax, and second of all, you lose your Bitcoin exposure. Now, this model changes that. Under this system, you can hold Bitcoin on your balance sheet and use it as part of your financial profile. Some setups may even allow using Bitcoin or stablecoins like USDC as collateral. And importantly, there are no margin calls based on price moves. Your Bitcoin is only at risk if you fail to repay the loan, just like a normal mortgage. Like this matters, and this is a key point because Fannie Mae is not a small company. It's a core part of the US housing system. So if they start recognizing Bitcoin, it moves Bitcoin from speculation into real financial infrastructure. And this tells us something bigger. Bitcoin is slowly becoming a store of value, a financial asset, and now even collateral. And once you can buy a house without selling your Bitcoin, that changes how people see it. This is still very early, of course. This is a news that we just saw today, the assets being considered are limited, so mainly Bitcoin and stablecoins like USDC. So not all crypto, and the system is still being developed. But the bottom line is, like, this is how adoption actually happens, not through hype, but through integration into real systems. Bitcoin is now entering the housing market, the lending system, and everyday finance. So the key question is, does Bitcoin become a standard asset like real estate or stocks? Because if it does, this is just the beginning we are witnessing. So speaking of Bitcoin, I do have more Bitcoin news I want to cover. And this is, okay, this news is not just another ETF. This is about who is bringing Bitcoin to the market right now. One of the largest banks in the world, so being Morgan Stanley, is about to launch its Bitcoin ETF. And that changes the whole game. What just happened is that the New York Stock Exchange has officially listed Morgan Stanley Bitcoin Trust. So the ticker symbol is MSBT. Now, here's why it matters. When an ETF gets listed like this, it usually means the launch date is very, very close. We're talking about days, not months. So let's break it down simply. This is a spot Bitcoin ETF. So that means the fund holds real Bitcoin and the price tracks Bitcoin directly. So investors can buy Bitcoin exposure through a normal brokerage account. No wallets needed, no private keys, no custody risk on their side. Okay, so this is it's a little bit different from what we currently have in the market. Like, of course, we have Bitcoin ETFs. For example, like the BlackRock one launched the iShares Bitcoin Trust, but this one is a little bit different. So BlackRock, they are asset managers, but this one is a bank, and banks control distribution. The structure is familiar but very institutional. Coinbase will custody the Bitcoin, mostly in cold storage. BNY Mellon will handle admin and cash. The ETF is expected to start with around $1 million in assets, fees around 0.2 to 0.3%. So on the surface, nothing is new. But that's not the real story. What really matters here is that Morgan Stanley has over 16,000 financial advisors managing more than $5 trillion in client assets. So if we let that sink in, this ETF can now be plugged into portfolios recommended by advisors and allocated in retirement accounts. This is not retail-driven demand. This is more advisor-driven capital flow. So before, if you wanted Bitcoin, you had to go find it. Right now, what it means is that Bitcoin comes to you inside your existing portfolio through your financial advisor, and that removes friction. And when friction drops, capital moves faster. Now, what to watch next? This doesn't mean instant inflows, of course. We need to watch, will advisor actually recommend it? How does it compare with the existing ETFs like the iShares BlackRock do? And how fast is capital rotating? Because the ETF market is already crowded. And that's exactly the sign we're looking for on Roxham TV. All right, so let's move on to the next part of the show. So I do want to spend this segment dive deeper into Bittensor, because this is one of the most important stories in AI and also in crypto, and many people are paying attention to Tau, but from the traditional world, is still not getting much attention at the moment. So in other words, we're still really early when it comes to Bittensor and Tau. So a Bittensor, of course, a crypto AI project. And what happened last week is that it got name dropped by Jensen Huang, being the CEO of Nvidia, and he didn't dismiss it. He compared it to something very powerful. He was comparing it to the modern version of Folding at Home, which is a global network where people contribute computing power together. That alone tells you this is not just hype. So before we even talk about Bittensor, you need to understand the problem. Right now, the AI industry works like a closed club. Companies like OpenAI, Anthropic, and Google, they raise billions of dollars, they hire top researchers, and they build powerful models. But there's a key issue. Valuations are decided behind closed doors, so there are only a few investors, a few insiders agree on a number, and by the time the public gets access, most of the upside is already gone. So the question becomes, who actually gets to benefit from AI? So for Bittensor, it kind of flips this model completely. Instead of one company building AI, it creates a network of AI markets. So think of it like this. Not one factory, but more than 100 small AI factories running at the same time. And each one focus on something specific, something different. Maybe it could be like AI model training or inference or data or compute. So point being, there are different tasks they need to do individually. And these are called subnets on Bittensor. And how the system works in a simple version, like each subnet is like its own mini ecosystem or mini economy. So builders create the idea, miners would run the models, validators would score performance, and investor would stake capital, and everything is priced openly. There is no private deals, there's no hidden valuation. The market decides in real time. And this is where it gets interesting and very exciting, in my opinion. So, one of Bittensor's subnets trained a 72 billion parameter AI model, not in a data center, not with billions of dollars, but with around 70 distributed computers, regular internet connections, and people around the world. So, the model is called Confident 72B. It performed close to models built by big tech companies. And this is a big deal because it shows you don't need a $1 trillion company to build AI anymore. So after Jensen Huang mentioned it during the interview, the Tau token, of course, surged. So we hop onto CoinGecko, look at the Tau performance on the past 1 month performance. It rose 95%. So that is a really incredible number, especially during this market, during this volatility time. So trading activity absolutely exploded. Futures position increased sharply. Even institutions are moving in. Grayscale has already launched a trust product, and there are talks about ETF style exposure in the future. So this is starting to move from crypto narrative to institutional asset. Now, this is the most important part. Bittensor is not just decentralized, it's actually very competitive. Every subnet is fighting for capital. They are fighting for rewards and also fighting to get attention. If a subnet performs well, it gets more funding. If it performs poorly, it just die and disappear, literally removed from the system. So instead of companies pitching investors, what you get on Bittensor is that you get markets to decide the winners in real time. Now, let's be honest about this project, okay? Because like none of the projects are perfect. I know like after hearing my analysis, you guys might be very hyped, but like let's come down to the details and let's come back to the pros and cons. Right now, some subnets earn very little real revenue, but receive large token rewards. In some cases, subsidies are 20 times to 40 times higher than actual income. So critics are saying, is this real value or just token incentives inflating the system? But perhaps the bigger picture here is not just about cheaper AI. This is about who controls AI infrastructure. right now, AI is controlled by a few companies, but like what happens if governments restrict access? Like, I mean, Anthropic is a really good case we're just covering earlier. And what if APIs get shut down? Countries get blocked. Bittensor offers something very different here. So they have a network that cannot be shut down. They have global contributors and no single point of failure. That's why some investors are calling it an AI sovereignty. But like, there's still a reality check because this project, Bittensor, is still extremely early. The entire system depends on adoption. It depends on real demand and sustainable economics. And if that doesn't grow fast enough, the entire model could struggle. But the bottom line is, Bittensor is not just another crypto project. It's trying to rebuild how AI works from private to public, from closed to open, and from control to market-driven. And that's and when someone like Jensen Huang acknowledges it, you know it's worth paying attention. So the question we're asking, is this the future of AI or just another experiment that won't scale? Because right now, we're watching a completely new system being tested in real time. And that's why we're paying very close attention on Roxum TV. All right, so that's the latest update on the project. Definitely still paying very close attention on Bittensor and Tau. What we're going to do is we're going to take a short break here. When we come back, we've got a great conversation lined up. We'll be joined by our guest who has built one of the most consistent and high quality podcasts in this space. And we are going behind the scenes. We will talk about what really takes to produce content at that level, from getting top guests to managing production to building a brand from scratch. So if you're building something yourself or you're just curious how content actually works behind the scenes, this is a conversation you don't want to miss. So do stay with us. We'll be right back.
Some call me Chicken Little, others Bubble Boy. I'm a bit changed, but sounds familiar, right? Let me tell you a hard truth. The S&P isn't rising. The dollar's falling. That's the trick. Monopoly money. It's ice melting by the second. Your savings, your salary, your time. Worth less every second. Everyone's using the wrong measuring stick. Switch the denominator. Price the S&P into Bitcoin. Hard, fixed, unprintable. Suddenly your unstoppable index, it's collapsing. And while you cling to dollars, well, Wall Street already switched. Before, you needed 2 brokers.
Still getting my ninja bonus though, right?
Fuck. Plenty of spreadsheets. And my quant!
I hate this part.
I was right, and I'll be right again. If I were you, I'd thank me.
You know my name's Dave, right?
Security matters. Zappo Bank. The only way to bank your Bitcoin. Apply now at zappobank.com.
So, tell us about your furry friend here. What's his name?
Oh, this? This is Bitcoin.
Bitcoin.
It's not just a cat, he's family.
Quite a name, and I must say, looks quite pampered.
Oh, absolutely. Bitcoin deserves nothing but the best. He's my little prince.
But with such a valuable pet, aren't you afraid of losing him?
Losing Bitcoin? No, it never happened before, so it's not something I worry about. Excuse me for a moment. Bitcoin, stay here, right?
Bitcoin, no! Bitcoin, come on, little buddy. Bitcoin, I need you. Don't go.
This is Alex. Alex spends most of his time thinking like a trader, still deciding what to do with his Bitcoin. While Alex waits for the perfect entry, this is Laura. She's watching the S&P drop. Everyone is suddenly a macro expert. She doesn't panic. This is Tom. No screens, no noise, no stress. While Tom focuses on his swing, his Bitcoin focuses on compounding. Because Bitcoiners don't want more dollars. They want more Bitcoin.
I want more Bitcoin.
The best move is letting your Bitcoin work while you plan the next one. Grow by Roxum. One currency, one place.
How about stretch preferred stock on Roxome? Receive 11.5% monthly cash dividends paid in Bitcoin.
11.5% paid in Bitcoin? How is that possible?
It's real. Stretch dividends on Roxome gives 11.5% monthly cash dividends paid in Bitcoin.
Dang! I want everyone pitching Roxum to your clients. Corporate traders, asset managers, old, young, Stretch on Roxum is for everyone.
Now that's a birthday gift. 11.5% in Bitcoin.
11.5. We are in heaven at 11.5. 11.5%. 11.5%.
This is Alex. Alex spends most of his time thinking like a trader, still deciding what to do with his Bitcoin. While Alex waits for the perfect entry, this is Laura. She's watching the S&P drop. Everyone is suddenly a macro expert. She doesn't panic. This is Tom. No screens, no noise, no stress. While Tom focuses on his swing, his Bitcoin focuses on compounding. Because Bitcoiners don't want more dollars. They want more Bitcoin.
I want more Bitcoin.
The best move is letting your Bitcoin work while you plan the next one. Grow by Roxum. One currency, one place.
Oh, I forgot to mention, dividends on Roxome are paid in Bitcoin. Stretch your income, 11.5% paid in Bitcoin.
Stretch your income to 11.5, get 11.5 in Bitcoin and Roxome. 11.5%. 11.5%.
Brighter days is on the other side of pain. Can't be the same if you wanna see some change. Iced out chains got you acting kinda strange. Mind got corroded by the fortune and the fame. Ego so bloated, got your head on the range by the followers and looks. Movers in the crooks, beat down low. You need a ram in the bush. Can't debate, you took the bait, a fish in a hook. Made a friend of an enemy, you mistook. Growing up is knowing everybody ain't solid. Or somebody that everybody ends up with nobody. Lose if you won't, lose if you will. This will be my final degree. You can't tell me how to be me. When you don't know what you believe. Faith is far more than what you see. I see the sparkle in your eye. I'm the star that got you struck. Lights out, I had to learn to live in the dark. Water pressure real high, had to swim with the sharks. Keep the keys in my hand, don't forget where I park. Just as long as I finish, it don't matter how I start. Fueling my possession, all I needed was a spark. Screaming real loud, thought I walked through a parade. Back up long, homie, don't you dare scut my J's. Mask on RP like GTA charade. Love me in my face, review, it's hater raid. Ear to the ground, blow up like Pompeii. Want the game with no work, but still no shade. We threw the whole tree and she still don't want the fade. No care about her out when I'm out here getting paid. Well.
swaggy, that's how I roll. On another level, aim. Step into the crowd, yeah, I'm feeling so supreme. Feeling so supreme.
Welcome back to Roxham TV, and thanks for sticking around with us after the break. Now, let's shift gears a little bit, because joining us today, we have a very special guest. So, Chin from Chinsanity, the host of the Chinsanity Show. If you've been around in crypto and also Web3 space, you've probably seen his content. He's built a strong reputation for sitting down with founders and CEOs and builders, turning complex ideas into conversation that are actually easy to understand. What's interesting about Chin is that he's not just a host, he's also deeply involved in the entire process, from sourcing guests to producing episodes to building a brand from ground up. So in this conversation, we're going to go behind the scenes. We'll talk about how he built his show, how he consistently lands high quality guests, and what it really takes to create content at a level in today's market. So if you're a creator thinking of starting a podcast or just curious how this whole space actually works, this is a really valuable conversation for you. So Chin, welcome to the show.
Yo, what is up, everyone? Jemmy, really appreciate you having me on this amazing set here. I feel very professional right now, like a news station. So thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's great to have you. But like, since this is your first time here on Roxham TV, like, why don't we start with a little bit background about yourself? Because like, you only started doing this podcast for like a few months. Because when I was going through the YouTube, that's what you said. And then right now you have 69 videos. I mean, that is like consistent. That's not easy. I mean, I've been doing crypto for a while. So
Yeah, you know the YouTube and game is tough and all that. Yeah.
Yes, I know. So like you actually went from a influencer marketing background before getting to hosting. Could you walk me through like how did you get into crypto?
Yeah. So not influencer marketing, more like agency. So I used to run like ads for like projects on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all that fun stuff. And then long story short, I was just so sick of the corporate world. And I always wanted to like, just like do my own thing and stuff like that. And so this is what, 23. I didn't get into crypto actually. So I quit my job, my corporate job, just figuring things out. And then I was just trying new things, other things. And then so happens, before that, prior to that, actually, take a step back, in 2021, there was something called NBA Top Shot. And I was like addicted to it. I was trading, listening to podcasts and stuff like that. And then so I was like, hey, how about like I do something in Web3? And so I was living in Austin at the time, Austin, Texas. And then there was a conference called Consensus, which funny enough moved here, Hong Kong. And then I met someone say, hey, I actually, in Web3, say, hey, I actually need help with like running Twitter ads. At that time, it was still called Twitter at that time.
I still call it Twitter because I'm a boomer.
And then, and then I was like, yo, I can help you. I used to run Twitter ads all the time. But then I did that, did a free trial with them. And then, I found out that actually ads don't really work as much in crypto versus in the Web2 space. And then, so I was like, shoot, what am I going to do? And then this is like and then fast forward to early 2024, I watched this video, actually, a YouTube video with my good friend Leon Abood. And he's like, these are two ways you can go full time in Web3 right now. First one was collab manager, and the second one was space host. And then, I never did space host or collab manager, but I was like, you know what, let me give it a try, right? And then so happens, I met someone who's a founder who needed help with hosting spaces. And then, and then started hosting spaces after that. And now transitioning to podcasting.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was a little long-winded, but
no, I like that. I mean, let our viewers to know more about how you get started in the whole podcasting. But like doing full-time, doing content, you're full-time doing podcasts, right? It was very intimidating at first. So like, I wonder, like, how did you get your feet on the ground? And then like, did you like build your followings on Twitter before deciding to go full on podcasts? Like basically, how did you get started?
Yeah, so going back to the story, right? So starting hosting spaces for projects here and there. And then actually about the end of that year, I worked for a Web3 marketing agency called Unfungible, hosting spaces for their clients and stuff like that. But see, at that time, spaces, this is called Twitter Spaces. It's kind of like an audio room, like Clubhouse. Was really popular. A lot of projects were using it. But then, it just like, I was trying to transition, say, okay, what's next for my career, right? What do I want to do? And then just felt like podcasting was something. People have been asking me, hey, maybe you should start a podcast, stuff like that. And then I kind of transition from there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I watch your podcast. They are really high quality. So I do have so many questions I need to ask you. Basically, the secrets of getting all these amazing guests
Yeah.
and the quality of the podcast, I would say is top notch.
Yeah.
So, like, why don't we dive deeper into the actual productions and the operation on day-to-day basis?
Yeah.
So first of all, like, you are flying around so often.
Yeah. I saw you at Abu Dhabi randomly.
Yeah, I didn't say I was saw you.
I saw Jemmy. She was just sitting there. I was like, wait, that girl looks so familiar. I was like, wait, it is Jemmy. And we saw CZ, right? We saw CZ.
Oh,
talk.
yes.
Yeah, we saw CZ's talk.
Yeah, a little bit. So, yeah, I was just like wondering currently where you based in? Because like you have a studio in Hong Kong, I believe. So like, are you shooting all the podcasts in that studio, or you just like?
Yeah. So actually, it's funny you say that. So how I started the podcast was actually in Hong Kong through actually a mutual friend called Winchman. Shout out to A52 Web3, and they had like a studio set up and stuff like that. And that's how I actually kind of started the podcast. Now they transitioned to other things. And yes, I have, it's not my studio, but yeah, I when I do podcasts, I have a studio actually literally right behind this building right here. Literally right behind. Yeah.
Yeah, so like, okay, you have a set place in Hong Kong.
Yeah.
But like at the same time, I noticed like some of the guests, especially in crypto,
Yeah.
they're very decentralized.
Yeah.
So you have been doing that for a few months. So like, is it difficult to find all the guests in one place and do an in-person
Yeah.
interview or in-person podcast? Because like I do find the engagement is a lot higher compared to doing on Zoom. Like, what's the difficult part or challenging part, and how do you solve that problem?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. I think the hack is what I found out is like during conferences is the best time to film, right, podcasts, because everyone's flying in. For example, like recently, right, we had Consensus Hong Kong, right, and I know you interviewed a lot of amazing people as well. So I had a lot of people fly in, so I just either DM them or through a friend of a friend say, hey, can you come on the podcast? And I kid you not, a lot of times people would rather say yes than no, surprisingly. Like it was, I tell you one example, like when I was in Dubai filming a podcast, or not filming, but for a conference, I just DM'd this founder that we were following each other, right? But I've never met him or anything. So I just like cold DM him on X, on crypto Twitter. And then
It's always Twitter.
yeah, always Twitter for you. And then he responded. He's like, yeah, let's do it. And then so I was like, okay, let's do it. Never met this guy ever. Booked the studio and stuff. And this brother like showed up 20 minutes earlier to the podcast. And I didn't even know this, but he just moved to Dubai and he just had a kid like 2 days ago at that time. And he still came to a podcast. So anyways, the story is, I guess sometimes you just got to shoot your shot, right? You just never know. But yes, it is really difficult. I mean, for the Consensus podcast, I filmed 7, right? And it took me 2 months to get it all together. Yeah.
And you edit all the content yourself, or you have a team too?
Luckily, I don't edit myself. I actually had the place I filmed the podcast, the studio, they edit the podcast and stuff like that. So
Wait, so the place you rent, they actually provide a
It's like a service.
editing team. I have to know about this place because like
yeah, we can go after this. Guys, it's literally like right. It was so funny. Like right, yeah.
I mean, it's Friday. Like, why not check out another studio, right? But like, yeah, I was about to ask you more about the guest part. Like, do you find getting like maybe crypto founders to do interviews is like maybe is easy because like they kind of look for free promotion anyway, so that's why cold DM would work? Or is there any secret like you have to build the X profile to a certain followers before even cold DMs you'll get a reply?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think the saying, your network is your net worth, right? And I think that's so true, especially in Web3 and crypto, especially what we do in media, right? Podcasting is like, I think prior to starting the podcast, again, going back to me hosting spaces, right? And then me working for a Web3 agency. So while I was at the Web3 agency, I pretty much hosted spaces for a lot of these big projects, a lot of Animoca portfolio projects, a lot of abstract, Pudgy Penguins. So yeah, I built that profile, right? Hosting spaces and growing my brand. And so, yeah, you know, like you asked the question, it was definitely like, I think it's very helpful because I have that profile. And you're right, like if I didn't have like a following or something, I DM someone, they're probably not going to respond, think I'm a bot or something, right? So, yeah, I would say it took a time. It's not overnight. Although in crypto, a lot of people, you know, they just, you know, bought the little accounts, make it to 100K followers. But if you really want to build organically and for real, like it's going to take a little time. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm genuinely impressed, like by the guests that you have on your podcast. Like, speaking of Animoca, like they are a really big brand, not
Mm.
only in Hong Kong but in the crypto space as
Mhm,
well. So,
mhm.
like, did you meet the team through like events or like through a friend or just cold DM as well?
Yeah. I think it's because I was working in that Web3 agency, marketing agency, because we were hosting a lot of spaces for some of their projects, like Open Campus, NHS, and stuff like that. And because of that, I think I just got connected. But when it comes to like connecting those people, yeah, it was literally a cold DM. Like I was like, hey, I'm gonna be in Hong Kong. Shout out to my friend Luca, and I don't know what his title now is at Animoca, but I was like, yo, let's meet up. And then yeah, we just met up and showed me the office, and then I met this person, that person. Yeah, so
Okay, so speaking of cold DM,
yeah,
one thing I noticed about your Twitter profile is that it happened to be a pudgy penguin.
yes,
So, like, we know Pudgy Penguin is I would say, the biggest NFT. I mean, even for the apes. I mean,
yeah.
I think the apes are going down, and I don't think it is coming back. But this is just my personal opinion. But like,
It's a little hot
Pudgy
take there.
Penguin,
That's a hot
it's a hot take. I mean, genuinely speaking, I'm not a big fan of NFTs. I have lost a lot of money in NFTs because that was back in 2021. I was trading all the shitcoin and NFTs, and lesson learned, I would say. But like, point being, do you think like sending these cold DMs with the Pudgy Penguin profile on your X would help? Because it's more almost like recognition that
Yeah.
okay, this person is legit, is from a certain community.
Right. I think yes and no. I think because this is where I think consistency in life is really helps. I've had my PFP for literally 2 years. Like I've never changed it ever. I changed the background a little bit, but the pudgy, the penguin, I've never changed for 2 years, even more, like 3 years now. And because of that, I think people start recognizing my PFP, right? The character. Yes, obviously everyone can notice, hey, it's a pudgy penguin, and stuff like that. And so, yeah, I mean, I think yes, I think like you said, being part of Pudgy Penguins, having that, you know, being part of that community does help, but also that consistency of me not changing my PFP for like 3 years and just keep grinding. I mean, when I met you, I think it was almost, a year and a half ago. I think it was
longer than that.
Longer. I mean, in
can't
crypto,
remember
it's like
exactly.
10 years. Right?
Yes, exactly.
But in Taiwan, I think at that time I had 4K, 3K followers. I mean, I don't have a lot of followers even now. But yeah, I still had the same Pudgy when I met you and to now. So I think that consistency and obviously being part of a strong community helps. Yeah.
Okay, tell me more about Pudgy Penguin. Because like right now, I have some really shitty NFTs I never get a chance to sell because it dropped like 98% already. Might as well just hold on to see where it goes. But like speaking of NFTs, tell me more about Pudgy Penguin. Like you have been holding your Pudgy Penguin for years, right?
Yeah.
So like, where did you learn about Pudgy Penguin, and why did you find that is this is not just a JPEG, it's actually something bigger. It's a early brand that I spotted. Like, where did you come that basically the insight?
Yeah. So when I bought my Pudgy Penguin, this is in 2023, late 2023, and this is when they just announced a partnership with Walmart. And maybe for the audience I mean, everyone knows Walmart. It's the biggest like retail chain in the U.S. and in China too, a lot in the world. And when they did that, I was like, bro, like what? They're mainstream in a way. At that point, I was like, yo, I gotta get it. And like just believing in the team, like Luca, the team, I've met them countless times, and how they execute and how they partner with all these Web2 projects, or just being in retail, you know, from Amazon to Walmart to now partnering NASCAR and all these cool stuff. And also, I don't know if I can show this, but they partnered with a card called CAS in Visa, and yeah, they just had I think an event going on and stuff like that, and so yeah, there's all these partnerships and stuff like that. Pretty crazy,
I mean, that's amazing. I mean, like,
You want to see?
yeah. So, like, you learn about Pudgy Penguin after the Walmart news. So, what was the entry price? Was that like really high already? Did you buy at the top? Because
Yeah.
I'm not following
Yeah.
the NFT market right now.
So at that time, ETH was lower than it is now, like today, as we're talking. And at that time, mine's a little pudgy, right? There's two collections: the big pudgy, little pudgy. And yeah, at that time, I was deciding between a little pudgy or beans, the Azuki beans, and because both of them were at 0.4. And so like I was thinking about it. I was like just wrestling in my head. Okay, which one should I buy? Because the reason why I was wrestling within my head, because I was looking for my digital identity, like becoming my digital identity. And then and then I decided, you know what? They were in Walmart. Let's do it. Let's do the pudgy and the vibe. And then so I bought it at 0.4 when ETH was under 2. And even today's market, I think last time I checked was still 0.5. Would be a good time for you to buy. Not financial advice, not do your own research. But and then obviously after that, after a year and a half, they had the huge Penguin airdrop. And it was very beneficial to me financially.
Okay, so like, is Pudgy Penguin your only NFT collection that you have, or digital identity, or you have other experience you could share when it comes to NFT as well?
I did have a bean. I did have an Azuki. I did have other ones too. Like people give it to me, and so I mean, I have a lot. Like if you check my wallets and stuff like that, like I have this one, that one. That like yourself is going down in price.
I mean, we always learn it the hard way in crypto, but like we just keep learning, keep making the same mistake for some reason.
If you want to know, like, actually, I would love to hear your perspective from an outsider looking in. But I think where NFTs is heading is less of the crazy, like how apes were and stuff like that. Although I think CryptoPunk will always be that OG one of one, right, art piece kind of thing. But I see it more as a digital asset that people can buy, earn, trade. Obviously, gaming is one, points, but although gaming right now is not doing well and stuff, but I see it more as like, people can own this digital asset that might not be worth like trillions of dollars or hundreds of thousands of dollars, but it's something I feel like we're going to see like the future, right? Like example, like Roblox, for example, right now, right? All these kids, right? I don't play Roblox, but they're on Roblox and they're like trading assets, right? They're using their Roblox, whatever, the dollar. And they're just trading using the currency and then buying skins, items. So I feel like the future generation, they're used to digital assets. They're used to like, that concept versus like us. Oh, I don't want to age you, but versus like me, a little older and stuff. We're like, why wouldn't we buy something digital, right? And stuff like that. So.
Okay, speaking of all these digital assets, like when it comes to crypto, there are different sectors,
Yeah.
right? Like NFT or like you said, game vibe. Right now, in the current state of the market trend,
Yeah.
which sector are you still bullish on?
Bitcoin.
Only Bitcoin?
Oh, I was gonna say that because your channel, I know you guys focus. I have to say that, right?
Just be honest, man. It's fine.
Market trend. I mean, we're seeing a lot of institutions coming in, right? Like right now, I think this week, there's like a summit, a pretty big summit here in New York and stuff like that. A lot of adoption there, neobanks and stuff like that. What I'm bullish about is just the tech itself, blockchain, right? I know it's not very sexy and stuff. Oh, I like the tech, but like prediction markets, right? Like Polymarket, Kalshi, Polymarket is more like using the blockchain to really, have what the platform they have today, and it's like hella mainstream. They did partnerships with UFC, Kalshi did partnerships, like these news channels and stuff like that. And then recently, right, the Kalshi co-founder, she's the youngest female billionaire in the world. Yeah, youngest.
I did not know that.
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy. Maybe one day you'll have her on the show.
Yes.
On my podcast.
I would love to host her for sure. But like, I mean, I agree with you. Like,
Yeah.
I would say like 2026, or not even 2026, but like this bull market, it was so weird because I got into crypto back in February 2021. So
Oh,
like,
okay.
I have seen the ups and downs. I've seen the crazy NFT GameFi narratives,
Yeah.
and I've always thought after the 2022 bear market, we're
Mm.
going to see the odd season that we've been looking for in 2023, but like we never got that. But like I agree with you, maybe just like selected sectors would get the attention, would get the pump. Like prediction market is one of the really good use cases in crypto. It just
Yeah.
happened to emerge in recent like 2 years or 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
So I agree with you. And going back to NFTs, like
Yeah.
I know you're talking about Pudgy Penguin. Like I invested into different NFT projects, but like I just feel like the early days in 2021, this technology is real because like you can use it for digital identity.
Yeah.
You can use it for ticketing, like doing the online tickets and stuff. So this is a real thing. But like because we were so early,
Yeah.
the only way we could showcase this technology works, it happens to be a JPEG. But like, yeah,
It's true. It could be
that is
different
the-
kind of aspects. Doesn't have to be a PFP. Kind of thing.
yeah, I mean, that was just a sign that we were extremely early. Yeah, so that's how I see NFT. But like slowly, maybe because I was too traumatized, I lost too much money on NFTs. I kind of I wasn't too sure about the JPEG narrative.
Yeah.
But now, like especially being in Hong Kong,
Yeah.
there's so many private clubs for
Uh-huh.
millionaires and billionaires,
Uh-huh.
and then rich people like to pay just the entrance fees is like
Yeah.
1 million Hong Kong just to
Wow.
enter a certain club, right?
Yeah. That what is the South
Jockey
American?
club
The
or
jockey club.
American
Yeah.
club. Like there's so many
That's crazy.
clubs in
Yeah.
Hong Kong, and then the entrance fee is so high.
Yeah.
So I kind of see the NFT switching to that side. It's more like a business club, like jockey club, like because like buying a proper Pudgy Penguin, like the big one, it's
Yeah.
not like the really cheap one. So there's a certain entrance fee.
Yeah.
And once you get in, you get the, I don't know, the parties or the events, or maybe like when you're holding this identity online, people will view you're more legit
Yeah.
and more willing to talk to you. Like
Yeah.
that is my sense about NFTs or in general. I'm not sure if
Yeah.
you agree with
That's
that.
actually a good point because you mentioned apes, right? I don't know when their clubhouse is opening, but they having a clubhouse for their holders in Miami. I think they literally call it clubhouse, the BAYC clubhouse, and that's exactly kind of use case scenario you kind of mentioned, right? Yeah, like it's funny because I feel like a lot of projects they did that, right? They did the clubhouse. They did the hey, we have a clubhouse, or hey, if you own this NFT, you can go to this or that, right? So I still see there's a use case, but I feel like the adoption still hasn't been going around. Like I don't see the Hong Kong Jockey Club saying, hey, if you own this NFT, you can come in, right? In the future, I think so. And this might be an age thing because the kids, like the Gen Z Alpha, right? Their membership thing is not going to be like a physical card. Their membership is going to be digital on the phone or the glasses and stuff like that. Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So in 2026, what is your strategy for this market right now? Is just like DCA into Bitcoin, or any? Are you still doing any market analysis on certain crypto projects?
I try not looking at the charts every day.
It's painful.
But I think I tell this to like normies, right? Again, not financial advice, do your own research. I think it's a good time to get in cryptos because of the prices,
Wait, which crypto are you talking about? Which
Obviously,
token?
Bitcoin.
Only Bitcoin.
I don't know what you think about ETH, but ETH is just it goes up a little
It's a
bit.
stable coin.
Stable coins, that's a big one too.
And that's the only use case for ETH.
Or the L2s, right? Like more like people building, but I don't know what's going, because I know Vitalik said something, right, about L2s recently, or I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, in my opinion, opinion, I'm not sure where Ethereum is going.
Yeah.
Honestly speaking,
Yeah.
it's just like a little bit messy. Like speaking of L2, they are kind of taking the fees, the attention away from Ethereum. So it kind
Yeah.
of goes against from the initial thought why we have L2 in the
Yeah.
first place. Like on the other side, we have like Solana building everything like inside one network instead of like so messy,
That's true.
having so many layer two. I don't know doing what, but right now they are like struggling with the transaction fees because like transaction fees so low. It went like below 1 cent.
Yeah.
So like, what are they? Are they earning that revenue from for Ethereum? Like this is the stuff I'm still very unsure. Like if you ask me the community between Ethereum and Solana, I feel like the Solana community is still stronger than Ethereum. I mean, maybe going to events, I still see the vibe.
Yeah.
Maybe Solana people tend to be more degen. That's how I
Yeah,
got
I mean, all the meme coins, right, are traded on Solana usually because of the fees and stuff like that. I mean, I feel like in order for Ethereum to pump, right, is when Vitalik does his dance, it does something funny, viral, like running out of a hotel. Did you see that video? He was just running out of, I thought it was AI, but apparently it's real.
Was he on drugs or something?
I don't know, man. I mean, Vitalik, I mean, he's a smart dude, man. So, but yeah, you're right. I think because ETH is also older than Solana, right? And so I feel like ETH was maybe the first time, and maybe correct me if I'm wrong, okay, for fact checkers, but is when people are like, hey, we can actually build products, consumable products using the blockchain, right? Versus I feel like Bitcoin is like people see as a store of value, as digital gold, right? And stuff like that. And then ETH came along, kind of view as silver, right? And then, hey, we can actually build something on top of that, right? L2s and stuff like that. And then Solana, right? They come in, it's like, hey, we're going to be the consumer chain, the consumer product chain, right? And then, at least now, obviously they're still building for that. But then I think in recent memory, meme coins was the big Solana thing. And so, yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, one of the criticism that many people have for Solana is like, okay, it went very viral when it comes to the meme coin sector, but it also kind of like double-edged sword a little bit because like it went so viral on meme coin, like institutions were never gonna take Solana very seriously. That is the double-edged sword. I'm not sure if you feel that way as well.
Why is that, you think?
Because like institutions want to be proper, they want to have the system that is not so pump and dump. Because like you know how meme coin is, and like pump.fun. Yeah, I mean it came from the Solana narrative.
Yeah.
So this is kind of the what institutions worry about. So that's why they chose Ethereum instead of Solana. That is the narrative I've been seeing around. So I'm not sure if that's your take as well.
Yeah, to be honest, when it comes to institutions like being in depth, I don't know as much, but I could definitely see like you said, like Ethereum is more stable, more been here longer. Bitcoin is what institutions are looking at. But I mean, Solana has all these big conferences. They have like, again, infrastructure building things and stuff like that. And even here in Asia, they're trying to grow that presence in APAC and stuff. So, yeah, we'll see. I can't predict. But one thing I'm, again, going back to your earlier question about what I'm bullish about 2026 or in general in crypto is I really believe in the blockchain and how it enhances and innovates consumer products that we don't see in the Web2 side of things. And that's where I think I'm a big proponent of making things consumable. Like making things that people every day could use. Yes, there's the investment side of things, right? Like in Hong Kong, right? There's like ETFs, Bitcoin, Ethereum. But for me, and that's one part, but also from a consumer side part, I really believe that, yeah. And like Polymarket is the best case, Kaushi and all that too. So, yeah, but we'll see. Who knows? Maybe we got this war going. I don't. Yeah.
I mean, none of us have a crystal ball. Like as I always phrase it, like even Warren Buffett is not going to know what S&P 500, what the exact point going to be. So at the end of the day, everyone just making smart guesses. And one of the smart guesses that I've been seeing lately, so is Bittensor. So I've been well, earlier before our show, before our segment, I was doing the news analysis for Bittensor Total. So it's more
interesting.
like the integration between AI and crypto, and especially last week after Jensen Huang being the Nvidia CEO, being name dropped for Bittensor, and he made a very positive comment on Bittensor. Of course, like if we take a look at the price of Bittensor in the past 1 month, it rose 95% in this current market condition. So, like some people are saying, this is maybe another gem for alongside with Bitcoin and Ethereum. So
it's just like an AI blockchain integration kind of thing.
Yeah, so decentralized AI. So like since speaking of AI, you get like the different stuff. So it could be it could be like model training, inference, data, compute. But like for Bittensor, it kind of like we have each subnet to focus on one individual stuff only, but like in a decentralized manner. So like, I mean, Jensen Huang said that it is it could be a really good potential. So I'm not sure if you heard anything about Bittensor in your community.
I haven't, but I have had multiple people on my podcast actually, that building like AI crypto narrative. Like during Consensus, I interviewed someone who's building something called SuperNet, Eileen, and it's kind of like using a one-stop shop for AI tools and stuff. I think that's what they're really building, using the blockchain somehow, crypto and stuff like that. But yeah, I haven't heard this Bittensor. So you said Jensen Huang's like kind of integrating or talked about it?
No. Some interviewer was asking Jensen if he noticed. Yeah, if he noticed that, and he happened to make a very positive comment about Bittensor. So that's why
the price is up.
Yeah,
it's like Elon, right?
It's a chart.
Something that goes up.
Yeah, I mean, like, look, not even because of this news, because like during Consensus Week, I met like numerous people, and then I was talking to so many amazing folks.
Yeah,
and then one of these guys he's a big Bittensor show, and then like
he was on the show talking about Bittensor.
No. I was just like on a casual setting.
Okay.
We're just like chatting.
Yeah.
And then he does some content as well, and he kind of nonstop talking about Bittensor. So my first set was that, are you getting paid to
show
about
undisclosed videos?
Yeah. So like, but like it can't be, because it was like a private setting. It was like we were just like chatting.
Yeah.
But I could feel he was very enthusiastic.
Okay.
And he literally did like hours and hours of research on Bittensor. I mean, he will probably explain better than I do.
Yeah.
I only know the service so far about
Is it
Bittensor.
L1 or L2 or?
I think it's L1.
L1.
Decentralized. Okay. It's more like a decentralized for AI.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like, because initially, I'm not sure if you were into AI crypto. That was back in 2024, I think. There was a huge hype for
AI agents stuff.
Yeah, AI
virtual
agents, virtual protocol, AI XBT, that's kind of stuff, right? So like, I was really into that hype, that narrative a little bit. I was trading a lot of these AI agents,
you make money?
but like, yeah, I made some, and then I lost some, of course.
Of course.
Yeah, that's how it works in crypto.
Right.
Yeah, so like I truly believed in the AI agent sector.
Yeah.
But like maybe after seeing so many narratives come and go, and after losing money, and then I slowly kind of think, okay, AI agent from a crypto project, because like AI agent is very different from LLM. It's not like just a
chatbot kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah, kind of thing. Like the AI agent actually have to push the button and execute something for you. That's how you call it, an AI agent.
Yeah.
So it does everything automatically. So like back in 2024, I thought, okay, I was very naive. and think that, okay, AI agent and crypto, that is the way to go. But
Mm.
unfortunately, like there are still so much BS
Yeah.
for crypto projects.
Yeah.
And after being in this space long enough and seeing enough BS, like I realized again, for crypto projects to compete with the big guys that is actually doing AI agent like OpenClaw, we have seen
Yeah.
in the past month, it was like so viral, so
Yeah, I
crazy.
mean, literally everywhere around the world, all these open claw meetups. I don't know if you've seen on Twitter, right? It's like packed here in Hong Kong, all over the world. It's crazy.
Yeah, I mean that is a lesson that I learned about AI agent. I wasn't sure you were trading those tokens back in the days, but like they were so hyped back in 2024, and I was like non-stop talking about that as well.
Yeah. I wasn't because 2024 was actually when I first started. Actually, I was more in the gaming NFT narrative. That's what's still around during that time, right? But yeah, I'm obviously hearing about it and stuff like that, and then now with all this, Claude and Mac Minis and stuff going on. But here's the thing, right? I think you've been in the game for long enough. It's just like it's sometimes really hard. Like it's just a narrative sometimes in crypto. This is like hype,
It's always narrative.
right?
It's
Like
only narrative.
like this this Mac Mini hype is already dying, like dying off a little bit. Like I have people. I heard recently my friend on Space. He's like, "Yeah, I'm looking to sell my Mac Mini now after buying it." So yeah, I don't know. Who knows? The next thing, I don't know. Right now it's AI. All these KOLs, crypto KOLs moving to AI. The next thing, I don't know, something else, And but I think this is one thing about even yourself as a creator, people trying to build something in crypto, is that someone have to be like narrative proof in a way, and somehow like obviously you want to do stuff that you're good at, right, or what you like to do, but also like it's good to like know a little bit about this that instead of being stuck in this cabal. We mentioned about these chains like Ethereum, Solana, right? Instead of like, oh, I'm a Solana maxi or Ethereum maxi, but seeing okay, overall, what is the landscape looking like and all that.
Okay, that being said, do you think crypto is gonna come back? I mean, when I say crypto, I don't mean Bitcoin, because how we view here on Roxham TV is that Bitcoin and crypto, they're separate stuff.
Oh,
separate assets.
interesting. Okay.
So, like, do you think crypto gonna come back? For sure, Bitcoin gonna stay around.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
was it? Do you think it's still gonna be the same as the hype, the bull cycle that we've seen in previously?
That's a good question. I'm leaning to say yes, but I'm very biased because I feel like in crypto there's a cycle. It might not be a 4-year cycle now, right? But there is always a cycle, right? And obviously, I feel like Bitcoin when it goes up, generally the other coins go up generally, right? But maybe we're gonna see less of the pump and dumps, less of the extractors because they're all gone now. They go to AI, they just made their money, right? So or we can have a crazy run like before. I don't know, right? Like before, but I think things are still going to be here. Maybe prices stabilize more instead of fluctuating like crazy. Maybe I'm not saying it is, but I am just seeing like I just think blockchain crypto is inevitable, right? In general, like I mentioned here, right? Like this card, right? You can pay in crypto, right? You load up your crypto and use it like a credit card, right? Stable coins, right? We mentioned that is here to stay, and I totally see the use case for that, right? Like being in Hong Kong, I don't have the online payment tools here, right? So I can't pay someone. So what I do is I use crypto. Hey, can I just pay you in USDT, USDC? And then I remember I was doing this with a friend who had a Binance account, right, but doesn't really touch crypto. So I showed him. It's like, hey, I owed him like I don't know, like $10 or something. And I was like, hey, since you have a Binance account, let me just send it to your Binance account, like a USDT or whatever. And then I was explaining to him, and then I gave it, sent it from my wallet to his wallet, and he was like, yo, this is game changer. I'm like, yeah, it's crypto. And then imagine like you can do that cross borders and stuff like that. So
yeah, I agree with you. Like the ultimate use case, like I would say the proven use case is of course stablecoins. Like stablecoins is gonna stay.
Yeah.
Like otherwise, you wouldn't see like all the institutions moving in or BlackRock moving in, trying to build like the Biddle Fund, RWA as well. So it's all about like stable coins and also having that treasury, like investing into treasury bills, because like that is truly unlocking billions or potentially trillions of dollars. So that's why big guys are moving in. So like ultimately, I would say all roads lead to Bitcoin, because like Bitcoin kind of like it is I personally I think it's a digital gold. I think there is a chance that we'll see, okay, maybe I will see Bitcoin going to $1 million in my lifetime.
I interviewed someone who was very bullish on Bitcoin. He says, but I forgot what he had a prediction by like 2030 or something. He said, Bitcoin to 2 million. That's what he said. He said if it doesn't by this time, he owes whoever he bet on 1 Bitcoin. So
I mean, I wouldn't mind seeing it, seeing that before 2030. Did you say?
Not before 2030, but more like during 2030-ish.
Okay.
I need to look back. Don't quote me on this, but yeah, I think he mentioned something like for sure he's like bullish. It's happening. So
okay. So speaking of Bitcoin, are you doing DCA or what's the strategy?
Yeah, not as to be honest. Like I think right now where I'm at, since I'm building this podcast and stuff like that, I've been really like bootstrapping it, like and really trying to build it out and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I've had more liquidity, Bitcoin looking in general. All my normie friends, I'm like, they know I'm in crypto, right? And they're like, yo, what's going down? I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, this is the best time to buy if you have the money, because do your own research. But yeah, it's point. But yeah, I mean, how are you looking at it? Like,
I'm long-term bullish. I mean, that's why I'm here analyzing Bitcoin every single day.
Yeah.
Like, I like to separate into different bags. So investing bag and also the trading bag. So investment, of course, I'm using the long-term mentality.
Yeah.
I'm buying whenever I see like I don't DCA that much, but like if I see the entry price, because I love analyzing TA. I love using technical analysis.
Yes.
Looking at
and you do a great job on the show every day doing that. I do watch it for occasionally because your thing pops up. Is that I subscribe to you.
Yeah. So like if the price kind of hit the critical level I've been watching, then I'll buy a bigger amount of the Bitcoin bags. Okay. So that's for the investing mine. For trading mine, everything I'm using a short-term mentality. So I will of course use TA, and then I'll do like long or short. Right now I'm majority shorting.
Okay.
So I'm shorting altcoins.
Okay.
Actually, so
cool. Not a bad idea.
yeah, I mean, yeah, because like 99% of the crypto that we're seeing today, we know that it's going to zero. So like I'm doing the odds. It's kind of a no-brainer, and so far I'm doing okay with the with the trading with the shorting altcoins strategy so far.
How about Pingu? What are you doing with shorting?
To be honest, I didn't.
Not as much.
I didn't really trade Pengu that much. I mean, I got the free airdrop as well.
Let's go.
Yeah, I mean, I got the free airdrop. It wasn't a lot of money, but like it's better.
Still
than
got something.
nothing. Yeah, like but better than nothing. But like for trading, like shorting altcoins, I was shorting AI agents actually.
Okay. Hey.
AI agent
pretty
crypto.
good.
Yeah, I mean, I was really bullish back in 2024, like I said earlier. But like since being in crypto for a few years, I've seen the ups and downs. I've seen the shady stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can't go against the odds, and so far it's proving the strategy is working.
It's working
in my favor. So yeah, I mean, let's go.
Okay, this is a little bit off topic, but I also like I was looking at your channel. I follow you and stuff. You used to make crypto songs. I don't know if you guys know this. How was that? Like, what was the motivation behind that? I was just curious.
I mean, I always had a music background.
Yeah,
so...
right. I've been to your place and a lot of instruments and stuff.
I have a music background, and then I was pursuing my music career at one point, but like I realized I wasn't making money doing that, especially in Hong Kong. So that's why I kind of gave that up. But like now that I'm in Bitcoin, I just feel like, okay, if I have some free time, then why not mix my two hobbies together? So
Yeah,
that
that
came the
was the
idea.
stuff. Oh, so did you go from music to Web3 crypto?
No, there's a transition. Yeah, I
Oh,
was in immigration a little bit.
in immigration.
Yes, I was in immigration.
So you're working. Oh, okay. What were you doing in immigration?
No, not the immigration officer, but like helping people in Hong Kong to move to other places.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, nice. Yeah,
Yeah,
must have been
but
pretty
it
busy.
was very off topic. So let's come back to
Sorry, guys,
Bitcoin.
I
Like,
tend to go to tangent. Sorry, I'm sorry.
yeah, so it's very off topic indeed. I'm thinking we have to trim that out in the in the recording.
I'm so sorry, guys. I'm so
Don't
sorry.
worry about that. So like, okay, speaking of, I would say Bitcoin.
Yeah, Bitcoin. Yes.
Okay, let's focus on Bitcoin
Let's
for now.
focus on Bitcoin. Let's
Yeah,
go.
are you like trading? Do you like for your portfolio? Do you separate
Yeah,
into trading and investing
yeah,
like I do? Or
yeah. Not as much, to be honest with you. Like obviously, I'm more of a long time hold, for better or for worse, around tripping and stuff. So yeah. For now, I'm more this holding, and again, wish I had more liquidity to put more in, but yeah, right now just hold. Yeah.
got it. Well, I have to say, like, unfortunately, we are reaching 5 o'clock, so we have to. We don't have much time left yet. So, like, one last question I want to
Yeah.
ask you. Is there any advice you could give to people who wants to start a podcast like you do, doing crypto content or Bitcoin content? Any advice you could give to new joiners?
Yeah. Well, for my crypto audience, you know what I'm going to say, right? Two things: don't wear pants and just do it, right? But practically, right? I think, yeah, like I said, just do it. Like, find what you like. If you're in it to create content for podcasts just to make money, don't do it. Like, literally, don't do it, right? But if you actually enjoy it, right? If you actually enjoy what you do, then I think, yeah, then just go do it. Try it out, because the more you try and do things, the more you know, hey, do I really like this? Is this gonna work and stuff like that? Versus sitting there pondering, just guessing or whatnot. And so, obviously, like there's other practical things, right? But like I think if you're just do it if you're passionate about it, if you want to do it, not just because of the money, right? Like podcasting, I said this on X before. It's probably one of the hardest things I've done so far in my career.
Really?
Yeah, it's tough because I do a lot myself right now because I'm starting out, like finding the guests, booking a studio, finding sponsors to help fund the podcast and stuff like that, and also creating content on top of that, right? One day I hope these AI agents are so. I need to clone myself versus the AI agents and stuff. But anyways, yeah. So
Okay, sorry. Let me stop you right there because you talk about sponsor. I kind of will have more follow-up questions.
yeah,
Like,
okay.
now I'm very curious. Like, what do you mean sponsoring a podcast?
Yeah.
Like, because like mostly when a podcast, people more like listening. So like when you mention sponsor,
Yeah.
do you have to like specifically say that in an audio? Okay, we were talking about this project right now. So how does that work in a podcast?
Yeah, so it's kind of like during when you're listening to a podcast, like some ad comes up, right? Say, oh, this podcast is powered by, or we're partnering to bring this podcast, stuff like that, right? So that's pretty much kind of the gist of things, right? And so like now it's talking with people, see if people want to participate, be partnering with my podcast, and grow together. And so it's that's pretty much it. And me talking about them and stuff like that, interviewing their founder and stuff like that. It's kind of the ish. Yeah.
Also, I wonder how did you pitch them? So, like, how did you basically ask these projects for money? Okay,
Yeah.
like sponsor my content.
Well, I think this is where like building your brand is important, like having your distribution, right? Like you can have one thing I noticed, you can have the highest quality of stuff, but if no one's watching, right? If no one's, if your distribution is not big, then why should people like partner with you and stuff like that? And so like attention is the name of the game, right? This goes back to my marketing days, right? Where we would spend hundreds of thousands of dollars just for people to see it because the attention on these platforms like Facebook, whatever, is so big, massive. And so anyways, going back to how do I get people sponsored? Yeah, just by the work itself, right? The attention, how many impressions I get, how many views I get. Obviously, like I would say, depending on the guest, depending on quality, whatever, or people's interests, it does fluctuate depending on the views and stuff like that. But I'm fortunate enough, just given where I am in my following, that I have a consistent kind of base of people actually watching. And in crypto, this, right? It's like a lot of people, a lot of KOLs, the audience is not real. It's all robots, right? But I'm proud to say, like, I've never took the shortcut. I've always built, at least trying to build the right way. And so I can genuinely say my audience is real. Because, it sounds kind of weird. What do you mean your audience is real? Yeah, in crypto.
I know exactly. It's like we have seen enough really, really shitty projects in this space. But like going back to marketing, I know I said it was the last question, but like it's getting very interesting.
Yeah, it's good. She's having a podcast right now.
Yeah, so like going back to the marketing side of things, talking about like how you grow your X account, like from basically from someone just getting in from a zero follower, how do you advise them to talk to big brands when they are just starting out? Even getting the first guest on the
stuff
channel.
like that. I think one of the best ways, it's different now in this market, but I have had like smaller creators do this, is try to join spaces, like X spaces on projects and give your POV on things. That's the best way to get discovered, especially if you're not known. And then also, if the next step is try to host your own spaces too, and then invite people. When I first started like hosting spaces, I had like 1K followers, and I would just cold DM people, right? And I was fortunate enough to even host spaces for a project and get paid for it, right? I was very fortunate at that time. And I kid you not, about 70% of the people I DM'd actually responded and actually said yes, that I've never met. And so I think, again, things have changed, times have changed. It's a little different now. Like if I were to start today, I would be on all the platforms, on the TikTok, on Instagram, on YouTube. Twitter, it's obviously still crypto, but like, I would create more content on those platforms. But if you just X and how I grew, just kind of answer your question, like, and to get yourself known, I think the best way is hop on spaces that you enjoy, that you can contribute. And then also, if you have the guts, host your own spaces, invite people to come on, talk about something.
Yeah, I like that. That's amazing advice from Chin. But anyways, we are unfortunately running out of time, so we have to end the segment first. Quickly. So, Chin, lastly, if our viewers want to get to know more about your podcast or maybe your market perspective, what's the best way to reach out to you?
Yeah, best way, 2 channels. I'm on X at Chinsanity, X or Twitter, and then on my YouTube page at Chinsanity Show. You can check out all my podcasts, everything there.
All right.
Thanks for having me too.
All right, guys. So there you go. Have it. Chinsanity from the Chinsanity Show. So we have to end this segment, and then we still have more shows lined up here on Roxham TV by other hosts. So make sure to stay tuned. As for my show, I'm here live Monday through Friday, starting at 3 a.m. Eastern Time. If you don't manage to catch my show live, don't worry. The recording is also available on both channels. So being Jam Crypto YouTube channel, my own YouTube channel, and also in Roxham TV YouTube channel. If you haven't subscribed or liked, make sure you do so because it helps with the algorithm to push our content to more people so that we can reach basically more population to know about Bitcoin and also know about the global news as well. Anyways, have a great weekend. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you guys next week.
Thanks for having me.
Out.